to the Romney Billionaire Fund, Restore Our Future. They've given this money to the vulture. So I'm trying to see if there's a connection. So I sneak in with my cameraman, Rick Raleigh, who also works with Democracy Now! And me at BBC. We go in, we fake our way in, and it was a quick investigation. Because as we're going up to meet the chiefs of this company trying to break in, we look to the side, and there we see a big door, glass door, inside this foreclosure mill that says Michigan State Republican Party. It just went from upstairs to downstairs, and you're foreclosed, purged, done. That's how it works. But that's not the end of the story. Remember, it said follow the money, not the votes. Why are they foreclosing on these houses when they can't sell? They couldn't sell these houses to rats after 3 days. So why? Why not let the families stay there? We know why they don't let them vote. They're all BLA. You know. The answer is the snake and the vulture. See? In 2007, the snake, John the Snake Paulson, walks into Goldman Sachs and says, I have an idea. We're going to sell insurance, mortgage insurance. Great idea, because the Pratts have mortgage insurance and the Naylors have mortgage insurance. When they lose their job at Delphi and at GM, then the mortgage insurance, if you're a member of credit union, you should definitely get the mortgage insurance. If you lose your job, the mortgage insurance pays. This would have saved America. This is where capitalism, like my professor Milton Friedman told me, this is how capitalism should work. This is how it's going to save the planet. They're going to sell mortgage insurance to the people who are facing foreclosure and subprime loans. And so they sold billions. Goldman and Paulson the Snake sold billions in mortgage insurance to European banks. And Paulson said he would be taking out the insurance, putting his own money on the line. If there's foreclosures in America, he'll pay off and save these houses. Except there was one little thing he left out. Secretly, unbeknownst to the European banks buying billions in U.S. mortgages for insurance, putting insurance on them, every single policy's beneficiary was John the Snake Paulson. Every time a home was foreclosed in America, he collected a check. He wanted those homes foreclosed. He wanted Detroit to die. Vultures feast when people and nations and industries die. That's how these guys make their billions. He made $3.5 billion on foreclosed homes in America. $3.5 billion. No one's made that much money since the Pharaohs. So that's what it's about. Now I could go through the 9 ways that they steal votes, caging and purging and the electronic machines, the whole thing, the IDs. Read the story, the chapter, Nuns on the Run. 10 nuns walk into a voting booth, they're told scram. I can think of this, there's some, I know it's not written tonight. The Destruction of American Democracy, it has a lot of humor in it. It's a short book, quick. And even better, it's got a comic book in the middle, 50 pages by Ted Rall, who I love. Brilliant, investigative reporting comics inside the book. That's for those of you who've gone through California's No Child Behind Left School program, and make it easy. There's also Bobby Kennedy's brilliant essay on the takeover, the hostile takeover of America. So what are we going to do now? So we're going to sit here and say, oh, they're going to take away my vote, the bad guys win. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I remember Martin Luther King whining about it too, right? No. We do something about it. He took a bullet. I don't want to be over dramatic, but that's how it is. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to take a book. I'm asking you to go online. Go to ballotbandits.org, where you can download 7 ways to beat the ballot bandits. Here's the poster. This is also at the back of the book. But go to ballotbandits.org, 7 ways to beat the ballot bandits. Things you can do to protect your ballot. It is, think of it as the ballot condom, right? So it's safe to go and vote. Okay, safe voting, get your ballot condoms at ballotbans.org. It's also at the back of Billionaires and Ballot Bans. I'm not going to give you the whole thing because I want you to download it, get it, spread it out, spread it around, you know, protect your friends and family. Like things like, don't go postal. Don't mail these schmucks your ballot. You don't know what they're going to do with it. I do, 488,000 ballots thrown in the garbage because they don't like the color of your envelope. I kid you not, that's a big one. Even if it's the envelope that they gave you, like that. They did that in Ohio, in black districts. They gave people the wrong ballots. In New Mexico, Democrats gave the Pueblo Indians provisional ballots which required a certain envelope. They gave them the wrong envelopes. They said, oh, we've thrown away your ballots because you're using the wrong envelopes. Wrong postage, you sign a different name on the outside than on the inside. Suspect signature, you know, Muhammad. Don't go postal. Walk it in, fill out paper, walk it in. California, demand a paper ballot in person, and then vote early before the ballot bans wake up, because when they say you're a criminal, you can say, well, actually, you get it straightened out and not vote provisionally, vote unconditionally, which I have another one of those you can do. And things like date of voter. Bowling, voting, and love should never be done alone. Okay? Make the democracy demand. We're going to count all the votes. It's November 7th, not November 6th, which is most important. Count the votes demanded. Al Gore said, but it's not his vote that was lost. He's worth over $100 million. He's still at the club. His vote counts and will always count. Don't count on them to protect your vote. That's your job. Don't say they're all alike and who cares about voting. Because if we keep voting, maybe there will it's not that candidates need your vote. We're voters, and if we keep voting, maybe we'll get a candidate. Okay? That's what we have to look forward to. I believe there's the goals. Fertilizer's got to be a pony somewhere. Now, so that's what I want to leave you. That's what I want to leave you with. It's not just a vote. It's Robert Pratt. It's the Naylor family. You know? Because if we don't vote, they vote for us. They get it twice. They steal the vote, and then you help them steal. Then you hand them the vote. Make them steal this vote. And then you tell them, for our country and our ballots, that you're going to steal it back. And I want everyone in this room, I don't make a dime off this stuff. I'm not being dramatic about it, but it's important. My big capitalist publisher, I won't say any names about flightless birds, is very unhappy that I'm doing this, because my other book is coming out in paperback this week too. But as you heard from Dennis, and you know, actually I was cutting onions, I wasn't crying. But it was, I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. Hell, they weren't even tracks at the time I grew up. Actually, no, they were the trains. They used to come to the Chevy plant in Van Nuys. They also made Frigidaire handles. My father sold Frigidaire refrigerators. My mother worked in the school cafeteria. It was in the Chicano neighborhood. And then one day the train came in and picked up the GM plant and moved it south into Mexico. And here it is again. When the Vulture and Snake Paulson took over the Delphi plants and got their billions from us, they then closed 27 of 28 plants in the U.S. They eliminated every single United Auto Workers job, while Mitt Romney, and then they each one of the billionaires, four of them, wrote a check to Mitt Romney for $1 million. After issuing a report that we are glad that we don't have a single UAW member left in North America. That's what it's about. That train leaving with the Chevy plant. I'm not going to let them, they can take the plant, but they can't take my vote or yours. I'll sign all your books, I'll donate for the posters, and I'll see you up there and answer all your questions. And thank you so much. And while we've been concentrating a lot on hacking, the simplest way, as I point out in the book, to steal votes by computer is to unplug the computer. And it happens all the time in lower income districts. This is the game that they play. According to the Elections Assistance Commission, if you are Hispanic, the chance that your vote will be lost in a computer is 500% higher than if you're white, only because of the types of machines that they use and where they place them. That's how it works. It's brilliant, and it doesn't even require hacking.
Occupy, have you interacted with the Occupy movement?
If I interacted, that sounds kind of suspect. I've interacted and I've acted with the Occupy movement. And in fact, what I would say, I appreciate that it's a plug for my DVD, which is up there too, called Why We Occupy, which came out this week. And it is basically some of the talk I gave here in Berkeley with some of my films from around the world. So you know why we occupy. So it's not just like them and the 1%. I named the 1%, I help you out. And I just was at the occupation. These are being given out at the occupations for free by the foundation. And so yes, so I've been doing a lot of interacting and reporting from the occupations, but even more kind of helping connect. The thing I'm probably proudest of is that there was a lot of connections were made between the groups at the occupations like Occupy Wall Street, where I am, and the activist groups like Friends of the Congo. It was one of the most extraordinary things was that there was a demonstration at the home of one of these finance vultures who was attacking the Congo. And there was a contingent from Friends of the Congo, from Africa, with the Occupy Wall Street contingent together. And that's the kind of links on the chain that really made me very happy. I didn't put it together, but because both groups had seen my reports on Democracy Now! And on the Guardian site, they came together. So that's, I think, where I'm at, giving out the information.
All right. Why hasn't Obama and Holder done anything about the voter banditry?
Why don't, well, that's a biological question. Jellyfish don't stand up because they don't have spines. And there is a problem. Holder finally woke up one day with Obama and said, oh my God, I mean, you need an ID? I mean, he's got a passport. You have to understand, it's not their world. Jimmy Carter says there's nothing wrong with requiring voters to have an ID. After all, he has a passport, Nobel Prize, and shows them to vouch for. It's not their world. They don't understand it. Okay, that's to begin with. But the other is that the Democratic Party has dirty hands in this business. Republicans are purging voters, but in New Mexico, one of the worst places for the steal is Hispanic Democratic voters are losing their votes by the tens of thousands, purged, spoiled, ruined. Every imaginable attack on Hispanic Democratic voters by Hispanic Democratic officials who are from an elite of New Mexico, don't want to give up control of uranium and gas and ranching interests, because, understand, it's not about Democrats or Republicans. Vote theft is class war by other means. It's not about the party, and the class war has its Democratic generals, unfortunately.
Well, it's interesting that this next question is two parts. The first part you just answered really are Dems as guilty as Republicans, but then it says, what can we do to prevent or stop this?
Well, we don't count on parties to prevent or stop. vote theft that they commit. We do it.